Mina, let's start with you. How was Mahomes able to turn this offense around in the second half?
I think the final couple drives were really a microcosm of what the Chiefs offense did this season in terms of him getting the ball out quick when he had to, and then in key moments using his legs. He had the most scrambles this year that he's ever had in his entire career, and they don't win this football game unless he uses his feet in high leverage moments. He had 8 carries, all were against nickel, all perfectly timed decisions. You had the triple option you saw there earlier. He keeps it when the defense overcommits to the run. And then the scramble in overtime. What struck out to me watching him was just the utter lack of hesitation as the pass rush collapsed upon him. And that's really been the case with Patrick Mahomes, right? His entire career when it comes to running. It's that situational awareness. Look, we live in a moment where there's some of the greatest dual-threat quarterbacks ever, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson. But I would argue on a down-to-down basis, Patrick Mahomes is as impactful a scrambler as any quarterback in the NFL, and it's why they won the football game.
Oh, what a beautiful time. Pat legs in the playoffs and big games, MK. You are absolutely right. There was one run, because we talk about Patrick Mahomes and his talent, but there was one run that I thought solidified and kind of started this team going. And it was that third down run when he had to go get 4. Right? And you run through 2 tackles. Now, this is against everything we tell quarterbacks, but Pat understands the moment. He understands what this is going to do to galvanize his team as well. Before that 4th and run play, on that one we showed when he picked up the first down, you know what I did, y'all, when I was watching the game? I looked straight at the sideline. And you would have thought the Kansas City Chiefs had already won the game when Patrick Mahomes ran through 2 defenders to go get a first down. So more so than his talent, which we obviously know, it's the mental fortitude. It's the ability to galvanize everybody around you and that confidence in them that you're going to win the game because I'm your quarterback.
You know, big fella, that 3rd and 4 run real quickly, it leads to 3 points. The one that you point out when he drops his shoulders, they end up getting a field goal. And obviously that's huge in that game. I think outside of the legs, what they did schematically when it came to some of their motion, either to or with Kelce, and watch how San Francisco defensively struggled with it. So 3rd quarter, they motioned Travis over, and they're really just trying to gain leverage off the linebacker. But pay attention to Ward up top, okay? Because he's going to have vision playing what we call that palms coverage. And he's going to end up having the out route by Travis Kelce, but getting in on the action. Right after the punt, we're going to go to a very similar look, okay? You're going to get Kelce on that in-and-out sugar motion. Ward is up top once again. He's going to come off the line of scrimmage the same way. The corner's going to go back. The safety's going to stay to the bottom of the screen. As the back Pacheco widens, the corner stays out there, kind of anticipating that out route by Kelce, and there's that switch release vertical by MVS. These 2 are huge, okay? You motion watch San Francisco defensively. Look at, they are switching sides completely from one to the other. Burks gets hung left backside. That's a check down to Noah Gray that goes for 13, and one of my favorite, 3rd down to Travis Kelce. Down 3 in the 4th quarter. Look at again. Look at all the communication by San Francisco. They're running Logan Ryan. Burks, the safety, drops back down. What are they going to do? Push Watson vertical. Kelce comes underneath. Look at Logan Ryan. He's completely lost because of all that. And I thought all that motion use, and not only just the motion, but like the way they were using it and putting, you know, in many ways, Logan Ryan and Burks in conflict and forcing them to switch sides of the field. It got them 3 or 4 easy first downs.
It stinks that Dre Greenlaw was out, too. That was one of the reasons why Burks was in that position. By the way, Mahomes loved the motion. He had an 89 QBR on plays that featured motion compared to a 29 QBR on plays without motion. Why not do motion? It's the best thing in the world. All right, let's get to some top stories off this game. Adam Schefter joining us now. And Adam, Mahomes wins his 3rd Super Bowl, now turns into an offseason where his contract could be back in the news. What do we need to know there?
Well, right now, Laura, he's scheduled to carry a cap figure of $58.6 million for the upcoming season. And if the Chiefs are looking to get cap space, added cap space, the first place they're going to do it now and in years to come will be with their quarterback who's got the cap figure, who will have the ability to redo that contract, who we know is going to be in Kansas City, and that's the luxury of having a franchise quarterback. You always can go to him to redo his deal. We also know that he's going to have Andy Reid and Travis Kelce to work with next year as well. Both men vowed that they would be back for the 2024 season. despite any speculation that has surrounded either of them about their futures and the potential to retire. Reid says he's not ready to retire. Kelce said he'll be back, so we'll take them at their word, and they'll be back in 2024. The question is whether these particular players will be. There you see some of the key free agents that the Chiefs have this offseason. With L'Jarius Sneed, Chris Jones stand out of that list, as do Willie Gay and some of the offensive linemen like Donovan Smith. So there are some key free agents that they want to bring back, and that's where Mahomes' contract comes into play. And then if we look at who they might open the season with in 2024, because they're going to have the home opener, there are their upcoming opponents. Of course, the league could schedule any division matchup in the AFC West. Those would be attractive. Maybe Jim Harbaugh's first game, but maybe the league can turn to the Houston Texans or Baltimore Ravens or Cincinnati Bengals. Any of those opponents make sense in week one. The league has a whole bevy of options to turn to for the kickoff classic in September. Whoever it is will be intriguing, and I'm sure it'll be a great matchup as we begin to see what the script holds in store for the 2024 season.
See what you did. Shout out to Taylor Swift for being a generational talent in her own right, wanting to be there supporting someone she cares a lot about. This is fun to see those two together and just the pure joy of the celebration.
I think it's awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah, I think it's great. Good for
Hate
them.
is going to hate, but you know what? They're loving life, and they should. Let's read and react to some Super Bowl performances. Let's start with Travis Kelce, who was visibly frustrated in the first half after catching just one pass for 1 yard. He got up in Andy Reid's face, but then he came out on fire in the second half, catching 8 of his 9 targets for 92 yards and 5 first downs, including 2 critical catches to move the sticks on 3rd down in the 4th quarter. Kelce was pumped after the game.
Never doubt in my mind, baby. Never doubt in my mind. We knew when they had to kick a field goal that it was on us. We got the best quarterback in the league, we got the best offensive mind in the league, and we got the most determination out of any team in the NFL, and you saw all of that today, man. Find a way through adversity yet again for 4 quarters, 5 quarters. Man, I couldn't be more proud of the guys.
Marcus, what changed in the second half for Kelce?
Oh, it was time to go. Dan pointed out the motion, but they also got him matched up in some man-to-man situations and ran away from defenders. You saw him on the crosser against Fred Warner for the big play late in the game, as you see here on the underneath. He was phenomenal, but this is the formula. This was the formula early in games when we watched Buffalo and Baltimore. It just happened to happen later, but it happened at the clutch time. It happened at the moment when you knew 15 and 87 had to make plays, and they were able to do it.
Brock Purdy is the 5th quarterback to be blitzed and be pressured on at least 40% of his dropbacks in Super Bowl history, the first since Jared Goff in Super Bowl 53. Those 5 quarterbacks, a combined 0-5 in the Super Bowl. It's hard to do. Dan's laughing at my voice. Here's Purdy after the game.
I mean, a lot of guys are quiet, and a lot of guys are still quiet right now. Not a lot has been said. It just hurts. You know, we have the team, obviously, to do it, to win the whole thing, and come up short like that. You know, the way things have been the last couple of years here, everyone wanted it so bad. So I think we're still trying to sort of gather, you know, our thoughts and everything right now. But everyone in that locker room loves each other, I tell you that.
You feel for Purdy. All right, Dan, how did the Chiefs keep him in check?
Everybody, you know, their defense coordinator Spags in his plan, but Chris Jones took away 3 touchdowns. They're going with the bootleg here. Watch Chris Jones put his right foot in the ground. Marcus knows this, and recoil. If not, use checks or Kittle are going to be huge chunks, if not touchdowns. Forces that little run and check down. Okay, now you're going to get this play action fake Debo down the right side. Everyone's going to go, Debo's wide open for a touchdown. How's he miss him? Because he's getting hit by Chris Jones, and the right hand is right on the throwing shoulder, and then the 3rd and 4 in overtime. Pay attention to Chris Jones. The guard steps down, paying attention to the linebacker, and it's a great job by Chris of not jumping and just, again, pressuring that throwaway. Brock was fantastic. You have to credit Chris Jones for really winning those 3 plays and taking away touchdowns from San Francisco. You
know, Christian McCaffrey also fantastic. He delivered in Super Bowl 58, recording 160 scrimmage yards on 30 touches. The issue was the other key 49ers offensive players couldn't get it going. Deebo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, George Kittle combined for just 11 touches and 94 scrimmage yards. Mina, let's talk Deebo. How did Kansas City take him out of the game last night?
Yeah, last week we talked about how Debo was the Niners' main target in 21 personnel. That was the case again last night, but Brock Purdy went 1 for 6 targeting him, in part because the Chiefs were all over the pass game to Debo. A couple of those incompletions were due to pressures, but half of them, they had a beat on the in-breaking routes. You either had the linebackers dropping back in coverage or the cornerbacks just mugging him up. Super tight coverage. They knew that Brock was going to Debo. They defended him well, and that's how you get that result.
Yeah, the Chiefs allowed just 6.6 yards per attempt to wide receivers this season, second best in the NFL, behind only the Ravens. Still to